Vodafone presents the pre-match.
One more match left to go here on the B stream, and the day is nearly done. It's almost time for the arena stages, but before we get there, we need to find out which teams are going to be securing their places in the semis and which teams are going to be securing their places in the quarters. For us here on the B stream, it's time now for Fnatic and Australis, a matchup that could be a preview of what we might end up seeing in the grand finals here at IEM Sydney. Certainly, this is going to be a matchup to keep your eyes on.
Oh, absolutely. This is going to be incredibly exciting. Both of these two teams are qualified through to the arena. One will go through to the quarters, the loser, and the winner goes straight to the semifinals. But both teams on the arena stage, and no matter how this one goes, they will be separated at this point into separate sides of the bracket. So this could be, as you said, a potential finals matchup on the cards. But I think no matter what it is, it's incredibly exciting.
Yeah, definitely is indeed. We're here for the Group B. We're here for the Group B matches, but let's go and have a look at the Group A matches and how they've turned out. Now, Group A almost finished. We've got Tai Lu getting the 2-0 victory there over Renegades, which has just occurred on this stream. But right now, Cloud9 and FaZe Clan going up head-to-head, or they will be shortly. We'll see whether or not Cloud9's going to come through as the sole representative from North America. Well, I guess you could kind of almost argue Renegades will represent there, but regardless...
No, they're Australian.
They are mostly Australian, I will say that. And I think we should claim them as our own. But yeah, look, Cloud9 trying it up against FaZe. That's going to be quite an exciting match indeed. And of course, for us over here on the B stream, Australis and Fnatic to find out who is going to be taking that free spot in the semis, getting past quarterfinals with a bye. G2 and Mouse also still yet to be determined which of those two teams will be securing their place in the arena as well.
Speaking quickly on that C9 FaZe game, it's 1-0 to FaZe. So the best of three already underway. The bracket not quite up to date. But
it's obviously on the mainstream.
Exactly. Moving back over to Group B and the B stream, which is us, Australis, Fnatic, for a qualifying, well, not for a qualifying spot, for some seeding, and then G2 Mouse for the remaining quarterfinal spot. It's very exciting, but I think we should talk more about Australis versus Fnatic and what we might be seeing here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Australis have been really on a tear through the Counter-Strike scene of late. They had a great 2-0 over Mouse earlier on in the piece, and also that win over NRG, which they did get pushed in, but, you know, in the end they got the win, and that's really what matters for Australis. So far, they haven't dropped a map here at IEM Sydney. They only dropped one at Marseille, so that is a pretty incredible run.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous for them. They're ranked #1 in the world at the moment. I think they're going to stay that way, particularly if they get the win. But there's a lot up in the air. They've still been solid, though. We're looking at teams like SK getting knocked out in joint last place in the event. We're looking at teams like FaZe pushed to their limit by Greyhound. It's certainly a very turbulent time for the top teams, but Australis have remained very consistent.
Yeah, and one of the big parts of the success of Australis coming back into such good form is Device coming back into such good form as well. So let's go ahead and see what he's got to say about this match.
I think our philosophy of playing Counter-Strike is a bit different to some of the other top teams. We play in a style that's very reliant on everyone in the team. The fact that we've been at the top before gives us a lot of experience. We've tried it a few times, me, Dupree and Sip at least. We know what it takes to stay there, but it's not always possible to stay there. Being in the top 3 is our goal, maintaining that. But all of the other teams will focus on us now, and that's one of the things that's hard to deal with. The way we prepare as a team is very different to a lot of other teams. I know that a lot of other teams also study the opponent, but we take it into a bit of a next level. We watch at how the path map and the heat map on the opponents are and who we're facing in the different scenarios and what they like to do. And I think, at least for me as a player and as an AWPer, it gives me a lot of confidence going into a game where I know that most likely this is what he likes to do and I like to do this, so he will probably also try this against me. Trade fragging is something that also comes with confidence in the team. It's something that's it's hard to directly practice. It's something that needs to happen all of the time, but it's just the fact that when you're in a good period, it just happens more mechanically, and that's one of the things we've seen happen for us right now. For sure, our team is one of the most disciplined, both in and out of the game. That is the reason why a lot of us have stick together for around 4 or 5 years now, and the other guys that have come into the team are in the same mentality. We take a very professional approach to everything we do. We always push each other to the limit when we practice, when we play, and so on. And I think that's one of the reasons why we have so high expectations to each other, and it doesn't ever really affect us negatively, because we also so good friends and like a family, so we can speak about everything, and it's a really big strength for us.
Geez, quite a bit of information there to swallow for that interview from Australis. It went for quite a long time, but yeah, look, it seems like it's really working quite nicely for Australis right now. As we've said, they've had pretty much the dream run through Marseille. It's going pretty well here at IEM Sydney, but the roadblock that they're going up against could be Fnatic, who, for their own right, are actually having a pretty good time recently. Not quite as good, actually, as Australis. They have dropped a map already here at IEM Sydney. That was 2G2 earlier on, but now up against Australis, there's a potential that Fnatic could sort of upset. I would say upset Australis here. I think it's fair to say that this is Australis being the favourites coming into this matchup.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. It's not as big of an upset. It's not like it's a huge upset potential thing like, you know, Greyhound over SK, something like that. It's not Fnatic, a team coming into this with no chance at all, but it's certainly, the power is with Australis here. They've been so consistent. Their players are all starting to show up, particularly at this event. We've seen good form from everyone on that roster. So I think this will be quite a difficult match for Fnatic, but certainly not undoable.
Yeah, no, and particularly given a lot of their players are looking like they're stepping up individually speaking right now. Crims, I mean, he was really one of the standouts for Fnatic again at Marseille. Coming into IEM Sydney, I think Lecro actually has really been looking quite good for Fnatic. So that's a pretty interesting dynamic. Normally you'd be looking at the players like JW, maybe even Flusher as well, to be stepping up for Fnatic. And while they're not having poor tournaments, it's quite nice to see these other guys also really getting in there and getting involved for Fnatic. So they all seem to be firing at once. And if they can bring that kind of form into this matchup against Australis, well, then we have to wait and see whether or not Device is going to be able to step up alongside the rest of the players. And again, Dupree was probably the one to mention for Australis in that matchup against NRG, where he dropped, I think, over 30 frags. So everyone on both of these two teams are really, really looking good right now, and I'm super excited to see how this matchup does turn out, because it should on paper be an absolute banger.
Oh, absolutely. This should be incredibly close between these two teams. If we don't get 3 maps, I'll be very surprised. I think it's either, if it's not 3 maps, I'll accept 2 very, very close ones, but in my mind, there's no way this is a stomp.
Well, let's find out, Tim, what those maps are going to be. Do you have any pearlers to give us before we get underway with the vetoes?
No nuke, for starters. Australis are currently 5-0 on that on LAN in a straight run this year. In the last 3 months, they've taken 5 straight maps. They're 7-1 on nuke in online. Fnatic have played it once. They don't like to touch nuke, so that should be ban number 1 from them. For Australis, I think they're pretty happy to play most maps. Inferno hasn't been as good for them on LAN this year, so maybe that's what they'll get rid of, but I'm thinking we'll end up on like a Mirage, Train, that sort of thing. Maybe an Inferno, but we'll see.
All right, well, let's see indeed. Bring up those vetoes for us, and we'll find out Mirage and Nuke the vetoes. So Mirage, not maybe what you would have expected, but Nuke, that was definitely the one that you called.
Yeah, the nuke ban is just, it has to be there from Fnatic. Australis are very, very good on it, and it has to go. With Device being such a dynamic AWP, there's a lot of room for him to move around on CT, on nuke, and there's just a lot of damage that can be done by all of those players.
Now, that does leave Dust 2 open here, which would be an interesting choice, that's for sure, from Australis. But Fnatic have already dropped it once this tournament. Let's see what the choices are actually going to be, though. I'm not predicting we'll see Dust 2. It is Overpass and Keish, and for me now, Tim, I'm expecting to see the Dust 2 veto coming out in the second phase of this one. I don't think we'll get onto Dust 2 between these two teams.
Yeah, no, surely it's going to be banned out. I mean, there's only one way you could find out here, but Overpass and Keish, I think, pretty good maps for both of these teams. Overpass in particular, not so good for Fnatic, but is good for Australis. They're currently 6-1 on LAN, so that's a good pick for them. Keish, I think, will be very competitive, but let's find out what the rest of our maps are, shall we?
Yeah, let's see. Train the veto, then Dust 2, which leaves us on Inferno. That was one that you mentioned earlier as well.
JW, you told us that we'd have some Dust 2, mate, and you've let us down here.
Well, they did play it against G2, and I guess given the result from that, they're probably not too keen to get onto it there anymore. They did get the choice really between Dust 2 and Inferno, and I think of those two maps, you'd be silly if you're Fnatic not to jump onto Inferno there. Yeah,
they've got a much better record on it than Australis do recently. So, Overpass, Keish, Inferno. I think that's going to be some very good games indeed. It's going to be tough for Fnatic to get going in this one, I think, given how Australis looked in general. But on Overpass, I guess we can say that they did end up being taken to overtime by NRG there, so maybe something for Fnatic to exploit if they watch that game. But certainly, Australis will have been practicing just as hard and will have picked up or fixed up the mistakes that they might have been making there.
Yeah, definitely. So it'll be a tough start to the series here, you would say, for Fnatic. Overpass, we're expecting, should go the way of Australis. But Keish, that might be a little bit more of an interesting one. I think that Fnatic have a pretty good chance on that.
Yeah, I think it certainly could go their way. It's I think it's going to be difficult, again, just because of the form that Australis are currently in, the way that their players are looking individually as well as a unit. That's something that we've seen when we've been casting Australis and watching Australis the last few days, is that their teamwork is just always perfect. They always move. There's always a trade frag on their T side. On their CT side, the crossfires are always there. It's very rare that you'll see one player from Australis go for an individual play and overextend. If they do go for the individual play, they're always being backed up.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tim, I've heard your opinion. I've had enough of it. I want to hear everyone else's opinion coming out of this one. We, of course, like you guys to jump in on the conversation. Sorry, Tim. I was
wondering where you were going with that.
Throw you under the bus a little bit there, yeah.
We haven't done this one yet.
But obviously, we want to hear what everyone else has to say about this matchup, and not just that, about IEM in general. You can join the conversation, tweet at us with the hashtag IEM. All the links there on your screen as well. You can get involved and have a chat with us. Even tweet at myself or Tim.
No, tweet him and tell him that his opinion's garbage as well.
Well, look, that's what I'm here for. I'm just here to look pretty and do the plugs, and that's what we're doing right now.
Excellent.
So, yeah, look, guys, just get involved in the conversation and let us know what you think about IEM. It's been a fantastic week so far for us here in Sydney. Really looking forward to getting into the arena, and also really looking forward to getting into this matchup.
Oh, absolutely. It's very exciting, CS, and it's been very exciting from day one. I mean, day one was upset day. It was ridiculous. I think my favorite summary that I saw of it was just whenever people were like, they'd post a screenshot of the bracket and just be like, ah, yes, just as everyone expected.
Yeah, it's like, what is going on here right now? And speaking of that arena, there are still tickets available to the arena here in Sydney. If you are in Sydney and you haven't got your ticket already, I would very much encourage you to come along and have a look. IEM.gg/Sydney 2018 is where you can go and pick those tickets up. I would not want to miss it, particularly if you didn't come to IEM Sydney 2017. But even then, like this year of IEM, definitely already for me is better than last year. Like, we've seen some crazy nuts results, and I feel like that's going to continue heading on into the arena as well.
Yeah, I can give you one big reason. If you're in Australia and you haven't got your IEM ticket yet, Renegades.
Come
in
Australia.
Support the boys.
Yeah, exactly.
Not the other boys, not the other boys, the boys.
And they're in the quarterfinals now, which means they're playing tomorrow. So you better lock yourselves in with those tickets for the Friday matches, and look forward to seeing how those ones do turn out. But for now, let's focus in back on to Fnatic and Astralis. Tim, I mean, we haven't done this at all so far in the last couple of days, but I want to know, what is your prediction for this? I know it's a hard one.
Overpass, Cache, Inferno, wasn't it? Yeah. That's really hard to call. I'm going to go for a bit of a stronger prediction. I'm going to go Australis 2-0.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Fnatic.
No, not that strong.
Okay.
I don't know. See, Fnatic can certainly do it, but I think with the form that Australis are in right now, with how strong they've looked and coming in as the favourites here, I think they're a chance. And with the maps that we've ended up on, none of them are fabulous maps for Fnatic. There's some good ones in there, but their best maps have been taken away from them. Inferno is good if we can make it that far, but first we've got to make it through Overpass and Cache.
Well, I guess that's the benefit, really, as a team like Australis, when you have such a wide map pool and then your only perma veto gets removed, being Cobblestone. Now they have so much freedom as far as the vetoes are concerned, that coming into this matchup, it almost felt inevitable, or even in every matchup, really, it feels inevitable that they're going to come out of it with, if not a good veto, at least a veto that they can contest on.
Oh, with their permaban being removed, they get a free target ban. If you're not familiar with the term, or the way I'm using it at least, is normally a team's permaban is the one map that they don't play, which in Astralis' case is, or was, Cobble. They go, okay, no matter what happens, every matchup we ban Cobble, we don't want to be tested on it. So that's a permaban, whereas a target ban is where you try and ban your opponent's best map. And with Astralis' permaban being removed with Cobble gone, they can pretty much free up their first ban every single series to, let's not even worry about what maps we don't want to play for us. Let's not worry about what maps they do want to play and take that away from them. Mirage, I think, is certainly one that Fnatic would have loved to go for, given the opportunity. So Australis take that away from them, and from there they get first pick as well. So it's always a pretty good spot to be in when your permaban just gets permabanned by Valve instead of by you. It's always a helping hand.
Absolutely. So it's a tough ask really ahead here for Fnatic. We're probably both on the same side of the coin, Tim. I do think it's going to be Australis. I'm not really prepared to give a map prediction just yet. I think I'm going to leave you under the bus by yourself. But here we go, onto map 1 on Overpass. Australis and Fnatic, the upper bracket final from Group B. Winner goes through to the semi-finals. Loser still in the playoffs, in the quarterfinals, but they're going to have a bit more of a difficult task ahead of them in trying to get to the grand finals. They'll need to play a couple of matches. So very, very much favourable to try and get yourself straight into the semis and give yourself a day off tomorrow.
Either way, into Overpass we go. This is Astralis' map picks. They will be starting on that T side. 2 sets of utility out for them as JW looks for the first pick through Fountain, but he can't find it. And the rest of Australis going straight into Fnatic at short. It's Crim's waiting.
Whoa, well, he just gets demolished there by Magis, doesn't he? He really had the opportunity to find a couple of heads, but just could not land the shots. And that means that Fnatic will start the round off, start the series off, in fact, at a player deficit. This is good news early on in the piece for Australis as they make their way toward the A bomb site.
They've still got 2 nade sets to use here as well. It can be smokes over to block off Bank and towards the dumpster. Flashbangs over to get their way in, and the flashbangs haven't been effective yet, but that's a great one.
That is an excellent flashbang indeed out from Australis. JW just completely white and can't do anything about that at all. Australis, that is a perfect execute into the A bomb site. There is just nothing that Fnatic could do about it. And now 2 versus 5, Flusher and Lecro, they're thinking, what on earth has happened in this pistol round?
Australis took the first pick by force, 3 players waiting for the info, and from there, they've managed to roll it on well, but maybe there's a chance for Lecro and Crims as this execute will be fading out. It's down to the pistols.
Well, a chance, but not a very good one. A slim chance indeed, and it's not going to go the way of Fnatic here. Australis will secure the pistol round. Flusher, well, he might just be able to save this armor through, but really not too big of a deal whether or not he does go down or survive. If he can get some more kills, maybe that's a bit of extra cash in the bank. But no, Dupree just demolishes him. And Australis looking pretty sharp here to start things off. It is, of course, just a pistol. You can't read into it too much, but the shots that they're hitting are looking good.
And they had a clear game plan and executed it immediately. That pretty much went exactly the way they wanted it to. They find the pick on the aggressive player in short, go up to A, they get up short uncontested, which gives them plenty of space to throw out the execute. And from there, easy win rolling up into the bomb site. The flashbangs work, the retake is held. And that gives Australis a 1-0 lead on their T side, going on to a bulk SMG buy here. Not going for a lot of rifles like we have seen from a lot of other teams. Instead, Australis going for the lesser firepower in favor of making more money.
Well, Australis, of course, they should be backing themselves right now. They definitely have some of the best players in the world as far as form is concerned. They will be quite comfortable with those SMGs. They want to get all that money in the bank, like you said. Fnatic have, for their own right, forced into the round with the pistol and armor, so they could throw a bit of a curveball at Australis here if things go their way. But Australis have got some good map control now and executing out onto that B bomb site. The smokes are in, and it's an easy entrance into the site now for Australis. Just nothing that Fnatic can do again. Australis is just completely shutting them out of these rounds, and it needs to be a big play out from Fnatic right now, as opposed to any kind of teamwork-oriented stuff. Golden does manage to get a sneaky one, just hiding in the smoke for a little bit too long, and Australis not quite aware of it, so it's a 1-for-1 trade. The bomb is dropped on the side, but JW, look at the positioning of him. He could become the key player now for Fnatic, and Australis may not be ready for him, may not be aware that he's coming from the back, but his timing is not quite going to be there as the rest of his teammates do fall around him, and just now JW pushes in. He'll be able to deny the bomb plant here, but Crims has already run off from the side, and JW, who's coming up absolutely massive. Where is Crims? He needs to come back in here and help his teammate. JW, what are you doing? You can't be allowed to do this. It's a 1 versus 1 now. And Magisk, with 20 seconds on the clock, he's thinking, this is not how this round should have gone. All Crims has to do is wait out that timer, but Magisk will still be able to get the bomb down. There's no utility available for Crims to deny that. And it just comes down to this now. Who hits their shot first?
I think Magisk has just made this doable for himself, getting the extra damage across, and he will find the 1v1. But god damn, JW, he makes it expensive with that CZ, as he always seems to be able to do. The game plan from Australis was perfect. They get onto the bomb site. The first set of utility blocks out Fnatic. The second wave of flashbangs keeps them back. But Golden dancing around through that smoke makes it doable initially. JW does his best to follow up. And it's a spirited effort, but it's not enough. Australis, they drop a lot of guns, but they were all SMGs, and they got a bunch of kills with them, so they'll be able to rebuy here into rifles and utility.
Goodness
for Fnatic, it's a near thing, and now they're going for a rush long to try and overwhelm.
Well, this
should be ready.
This is more or less going to be a bit of a nothing round out from Fnatic, unless Australis manages to find a way to let it slip. But if Fnatic can do that, or if JW can do that with just a CZ, what is he going to be able to do with an AWP or with a rifle or anything? Australis,
Not with a USP.
they're going to have to take note of what's been going on there, because they come into this, they looked really good, they took their foot off the pedal, and Fnatic all of a sudden caught up to them and really caused them a little bit of concern. And in that first gun round, Fnatic, they are going to be hoping to answer back straight away.
Device has got 3 kills with the MAC-10 though, which will give him enough money to go for that AWP in the next round. So he's done what he wanted to, really. Leaves Lecro alone in the 1 versus 5. Might find Glaive if he's lucky, and that's the bomb down, but it's no lasting concern, as Dupree will clean it up and be able to grab that rifle up as well.
Yeah, so all 4 rifles taken through for Australis, one of them being a Galil. Again, that was not a bad anti-eco for Australis, but I mean, even their first was not bad until JW comes up with some sort of superhuman play.
Voodoo magic.
Yeah, voodoo magic, that's a good one. But for Fnatic now, they do have the buy through. Unfortunately, no orb available just yet for JW. But the rifles, they might just suffice. CZs were anything to go by.
JW with the CZ though, he is incredibly good with that pistol. We see it time and time again. And look at all that targeted utility to deny Crims. They nade him so he falls back, smoke him so he can't even reface. And now Dupree has taken that bit of map control. And really, the story of these rounds is just beautiful coordination from Australis. It's so nice to watch. And now they've got connected for control for themselves. Flush has got a smoke and might get the nade through as well, trying to spot over it. Doesn't do as much damage as he might have wanted though, and they're really tagging Magisk.
Yeah, JW finds the opening pick though onto Glaive, and a lot of damage done by Flusher there as well.
It's the bomb that goes down too. They've gone to retrieve it now, but it was spotted out. Now Fnatic with the man advantage can try and play this round. They do still have a bit of a health deficit, but Dupree and Magisk very low on the Australis side of things.
Well, they need to be careful that they don't let Device get something done here. He's managed to creep his way up to the sandbags behind, or on short. And Fnatic not aware of it just yet, though Australis, they've slowed things down, allowing Zipex time to just have a bit of an exploration on long. Device does give away his position now. It seems as though Australis not too committed to that B-bomb stun. I think this is looking more like they're going to head their way back up to A.
But whatever they do, it's going to have to be pretty quick. They've been waiting for Fnatic to push them for the last 30 seconds or so, and Fnatic have not moved.
Well, Fnatic don't need to move. They have the player advantage, just really on Australis to make the play right now. The Molotov to go in here from Device. He's trying to fake out that B-bomb side.
Device has got 4 players here. He's done his job. This hit into A. They've only got to find 1 kill. If Crims goes down just like that, then now the bomb can be planted. Device has made this work for his team.
The bomb still does need to go down here for Australis. It's just going to get there in time. But Fnatic have been able to rotate back across quite quickly indeed. And JW, he's spotted quite a few players out. Zipex, though, coming up big. 2 kills for him. And Fnatic, the retake now gets much more difficult. Golden will be able to dispatch of Dupree. But again, Zipex is there and waiting for Australis. Flusher now on his own, and Magisk waiting. 4-0 up now on the board for Australis. And a perfectly executed post plant.
How many aces are we going to see stolen here, Jordan? We've already seen like 3 today. Doesn't matter though, Australis, they make it work. Device pulls off a massive fake on the B-bomb site, just staying over there for so long. There was always a couple players stacked up there for Fnatic, but Device even manages to pull the rotator over into heaven. There's 4 players there as he goes down, his teammates pushed. They only needed the 1 kill onto Crims, which was gotten for free. And as you said, the post plant was absolutely perfect. Zipex untouchable in these clutch situations. Man down, multiple men down, he still makes it work. And he pushes Fnatic back onto the pistols now. Australis looking to make some money in the hands of Dupree with the Mac-10.
Yeah, Fnatic do have a player in the underpass, but that's JW, and he's not long for this world. Between a rock and a hard place, that being Dupree and the incendiary thrown by Australis. So 1 player advantage now for the T side. And with the investment out here from Fnatic, we're not expecting to be seeing too much from them. JW already the hero with the CZ from their other eco has gone down. And it seems as though the rest of his teammates will be following suit. So Fnatic have not gotten anything done in this round. A little bit of damage over to Dupree, but that's nothing to write home to mum about.
So it leaves the 2 Deagles left, 2v5. Not a lot that they can really do in this instance. Some damage will be nice to try and keep the economy low on Australis, but they're really not bothered. Zipex sitting on 8k at the moment with a stolen M4 in hand. So for Flusher and Crims at this point, any kills they can get really are only going to make a massive difference if they can get out with a gun, given that Australis won't really care about rebuying. And it is only Zipex actually facing this one now. Device is backing him up if needed. And they will get the final 2 kills as well. So Australis starting off 5-0 now. The last round was close, but they've pulled it off since then.
Look at the money here for Australis, though. Zipex up to above $10,000. We're only 5 rounds in.
That's exactly what I was
And while
talking
it is 5-0 for Australis, this is an insane amount of money that they have still.
Many SMG frags. That's exactly what they wanted them for. Now they're going to go onto that full buy. When your AWP still has $6,000 left, you're doing pretty all right there. Magisk is low, but that's okay.
Double AWP out for Fnatic as well. They've pulled out all the stops in this round.
Crow and JW looking to get back on the board early, and JW is actually going for a bit more of an aggressive pick here into bathrooms. Certainly a style that he is known for. Lecro playing at Graffiti has a very strong position to AWP in right now. He can watch both the short and monster push, try and play the headshot angle into monster. And Flusher is taking back short control right now. Might even get sneaky through this smoke with the flashbang.
Yeah, flashed in from one of his teammates, but Dupree is there for the trade. So The intent was good for Fnatic. They know that they're slowly starting to lose control of this map already. And they want to make some plays. They want to try and get themselves back into it before it is too late. But really, in the end, that only favors Australis now in a 4 versus 4, and Glaive just rips the head off of Crims. Absolutely eviscerates him. 3 versus 4, and Fnatic, again, struggling in another round.
JW and Bathrooms might find the one kill. He does manage to wheel around onto Device, but Dupree is laying in wait for Golden. And they're going to leave JW alone. They know exactly where he's playing from. No one will be peeking him after this point. They're all going to run away over to the B bomb site, where there is already some control looking to be established.
If Lecro doesn't get a kill here, it's going to be the round over. Australis, if they get in for free, should just be Fnatic saving. Right now, though, Lecro fully committing into the site, missing the flick onto Dupree. It would have been a great shot if he had hit it, but in the end, it goes the way of Australis.
Yeah, with Glaive in the position he was in, they would have got that trade frag anyway. So now JW, locked out in heaven behind a fading smoke, has to go for some damage here, given the position that he's in. Maybe saving wouldn't be a bad idea, but he's handed the kill on Glaive. They're already being shot at. Dupree's there for the trade on the flank.
Dupree just getting a massive flank off there, and really for Fnatic, I don't think that was the greatest of ideas, trying to go for that retake. Once Lecro goes down, I mean, yeah, I guess what's JW going to be able to really do with an AWP here on his own? But at least there might have been an AWP here in this round. It's a fully go out now for Fnatic.
I think part of that, though, was that he'd already rotated in, so there was no real easy way to get out of it, especially with Dupree. Like, when Dupree had been last spotted Graffiti, he could expect that Dupree would be on the flank. And obviously, he did get caught out by it when it came through, but there's not an easy way out of there for JW, and I'm sure he knew that. So he did his best, but couldn't get it across the line. Dupree, by the way, with a 4K. And here's the thing for Australis right now, right? They have had 2 rounds out of the last 3 where one player's got 4 kills and ended the round for them. But it's not like it's one person carrying everyone. It's different players being given the opportunity to find all these frags due to the setups Australis are playing. They're still playing as a group, even if the frags are distributed to 1 or 2 individuals. And now, once again, a 4-spy round out for Fnatic. Pistols and a scout on Flusher, looking to take Bathrooms and connected control for themselves. But Australis, quite content to move slowly and let them have it. They're just going to go questing through and try and find a few picks here.
Dupree definitely has been quite impressive throughout IEM Sydney so far. But for Fnatic, they need someone to step up in this round and in this map, because they're down 6-0. They're onto another eco. This is very likely going to 7-0. You don't expect Australis to drop around like this. And Fnatic, I mean, just the amount of a comeback that they are going to have to stage here on Overpass, it almost seems impossible already.
Yeah, Australis very, very strong. You don't want to give them anything, and Device has been waiting ever so patiently for Flusher, who plucks him out of midair. Glaive forces JW back as well. Crims gets an eagle kill through. And actually, there's the pistol starting to be a problem. Device is pushed up onto Long. He's been isolated, so now into a 3 versus 4. The bomb still safe, but Lekrov, he can find a frag here, which he hasn't yet. That's an important miss for him, but there's JW on the cleanup.
Well, Zipex in a clutch situation now, and we know how good he is in these. Sitting at 7-1 right now, he has potential to boost those numbers just a little bit and claw the way out of this round for Australis. Still clearing out the B bomb site, but this should allow the bomb plant for Glaive. The trouble is going to be, though, whether JW shuts it down or not, and Glaive deciding to plant in the smoke, but JW, he hits the headshot, and that should be the round shut down now, barring some sort of brilliance out here from Zipex. He's only got 13 seconds now for himself to play with.
And now they're just going to play the time. There is nothing at all that Zipex can do here.
Does get rid of JW, and that's a little bit of economic damage, but realistically speaking, that's an eco win for Fnatic, and I was lauding Australis. I was saying there's no way that they lose a round like this. We're up to 7-0, but I counted my chickens before they hatched him. Can't believe it. But Australis have dropped that round, and now Fnatic, they have a way back in. Their economy's boosted a little bit. They saved a couple of guns through. But the same can be said now for Australis. It's not the end of the world. And they have the opportunity to once again shut Fnatic out of this.
And if they get a big reset here, then that's going to put an end to all of that money that was coming into the Fnatic bank account. The last round against Pistols, it can be difficult. And while they get the first pick, there's a deagle kill from Long, a CZ flank from Toilets. And sometimes that's just the way she goes if you're not quite ready for it. So will be Fnatic starting off with the man disadvantage in this round once again. So just to find the first kill. The spam is good from Golden, but not good enough, as Australis is still getting ready to go towards this B-bomb site.
Yeah, the player advantage for Australis. How many times we have seen that in the grenade stack?
Triple nade stack for barrels.
It's not going to get anything done this time. There's no one there for Fnatic, but that's definitely something you need to keep an eye on when you're up against Australis here on Overpass. They love the grenades into the B bomb site. Lecro, he's going to go down without really offering any resistance at all. Zipex too sharp once again. And Australis barreling forward, looking for that 7th round that was stolen away from them by Fnatic in the last. Golden desperately trying to hold on, but that is going to be put to a stop again by Zipex, having a fantastic game so far at 10-2. Just completely shutting Fnatic out of this map so far. And another one is going to go his way. Who would have even thought?
A lot of people, I think, everyone knows how good Zipex is, but now it's JW. Legendary player in his own right, and he's found the first 2, now down to a 2v1.
Difficult 2v1 as well for JW, maybe even an impossible one. Seems as though he is quite aware of that. There's not really the time to work with here for him. Once that bomb time is ticked past half, you can really give up any thoughts of a retake, unless maybe it's a 1v1 and you know the position of the remaining player.
But even then with an AWP, trying to get out through heaven or out through lower, it's very difficult. So JW here, I think, will sit back, happy with the damage he's done.
He could drop a gun here as well for someone on Fnatic. And the buy is possible if Fnatic want to try and force in here.
That's an important round for the Australis economy as well, though, because they did buy down to around 1 or 2k per player in that one, but they managed to get the win on the board, get themselves extra $3,000 per player that you do get for winning.
Ooh.
And it looks like there will be a buy
Well,
of some sort passed around for Fnatic. There's some upgraded pistols, but minimal utility, minimal armor. Flush is actually fully invested when the rest of his team haven't.
Yeah, he must be feeling something in this round. I'm not sure what it's going to be. JW into the underpass. We've already seen him get an early opening pick in that area of the map, but this time Australis not so interested. Just heading towards the bathrooms. Oh, well, I lied, but it was Crims this time to open things up. JW has been spotted out by Australis. They're hunting, looking for this trade frag, but in the end, the AKA is going to be given over into the hands of Crims, and Flusher pushes the smoke. That's the armor down. If Crims can throw that AK over to Lecro, it might be a little bit more useful in his hands, given that he does have the body armor. Crims might just fancy himself right now. He certainly has been sharp in the last few months.
I was about to say, it's sure there's no armor, but it's still Crims. He can certainly make this work.
Bombs planted on the A bomb site here, though. So Fnatic do have a difficult task ahead of them.
We do indeed. There's still smoke locking them out, and while it is starting to fade, Glaive is ready for this boost. He's read them absolutely perfectly.
Ooh. Well, has he, though? Because he just gets off the line at the wrong time, and that gives the opening to JW. Give him an inch and he'll take a mile, and he certainly has done that. But I still don't think that Fnatic are going to be able to win this round out. They don't have a smoke. They can't get rid of that Molotov, and Australis have set themselves up in really good post-plant positions. Device and Magisk get a kill apiece, and Magisk will go down, but it's still the round there for Australis, which is what they needed. JW can't even save the AWP through, which is a big hit to the economy there of Fnatic.
That's the real problem with Overpass as well, is that you can't really exit the A bomb site with low time left unless you've got control of short or long A. If you're going down into the tunnels underneath it trying to head through to B, you can only do that if you leave with 10 seconds left to give you time to get onto the bomb site, because if you try and fall back, you're just going under the bomb. You're not getting any further away from it. So there was nowhere really for JW to go there. Unfortunately for him, he will be dropping that AWP. He gets another one out, but that's the difference. If he'd saved that, that could have been a gun dropped over to Golden, for instance, who is just on that CZ.
Exactly. It was going to be one player without a gun here for Fnatic. Unfortunately for Golden, it is him. And that extra oil could have really bolstered the buy here of Fnatic. But in the end, they're going to have to deal with what they've got, as Australis are very quick into the B bomb site, and Golden trying to make a cheeky play through the smoke, won't be able to get anything there. Necro has a chance for himself here. The whack-a-mole game ahead of him as they all dance around the smoke, and Lecro does get one, but perhaps no more. Although, I do lie, and Crims is there to back him up, and Zipex goes down. 2 versus 3. Fnatic holding strong on that B bomb site.
Indeed they do, and now Device looking to open up space. He is on the full HP, so he's got to be the one to make the play here. The A-bomb side is temporarily empty, although Crims is on his way up, but that will give Australis a chance to maybe find something. Device, for his part, trying to make no noise. He might go all the way for a push through here and try and wrap around to get this opening frag.
He might just as well. This is looking almost perfect here for Device. Glaive is going to get on the bomb site and plant the bomb, but Device is not wrapping around the back like he needs to be. Crims might get Glaive. This is all just a matter of timing, and in the end, yes, it is going to be Crims to find Glaive, but Device, he spots JW on the rotate. The defuse is not yet on here for Crims, but he's going to jump on it. Device can still get there in time.
No,
it looks like he's going to give it up. He could have, but he's decided not to. He thought that it was going to be the fake defuse. Now he can just do a bit of damage over to the CT economy, which even on of itself is still going to be quite dangerous. He'll go down. But all in all, still not too bad of a round for Australis. Look at how bad the buy is going to be here for Fnatic.
It's not going to be great. That one's unfortunate. It does come down to just that 50-50 decision for Device. His choice there is he can either check bank and see if someone has crept up like Crims did, or he can cut off the rotate. And in that position, he's more likely to get multiple kills cutting off the rotate than he is bank. But of course, that does leave Glaive very exposed. Unfortunately, it doesn't go the way that he wanted it to. So, the attack pause now called for Astralis. Up 8 rounds to 2. Still, though, they want to continue out their lead here. They don't want to give Fnatic anything here on Overpass.
Yeah, but Australis can't feel too hard done by right now. They're
Exactly.
up 8 and 2, like you've said. So things are going along quite peachy for them. Really no concerns at this point. And again, another opportunity for them to just reset the economy of Fnatic, which already really is still looking quite dire. And that's the trouble sometimes starting off on the CT side in a matchup like this. Even though you would feel equally skilled up against Astralis as Fnatic, you just actually haven't really had the opportunity to even take fights against them. Think how many gun rounds you've had. In the 10 rounds that we've seen, it's probably been 4 or 5 gun rounds out for Fnatic. And of those 4 or 5, not a single one has actually been a really solid gun round with all the utility, all the weapons, and all the armor, and all the defuse.
They've really only had like 2 or 3 gun rounds here at most, because a lot of them have just been JW saving an AWP with extra guns brought up around it. There's been very few true full gun rounds. Even this one, 3 M4s, a FAMAS, a UMP, and Astralis going hard long. This time, no one is facing. The last time they were here, they got undone by pistols from long and bathroom, but Fnatic aren't doing it. And Astralis have called the perfect counterplay. They've identified that Fnatic aren't going to be here, and while Crims has heard it, it will be too late to stop them getting on the bomb side.
Yeah, but he might just be able to deny that bomb lands. And indeed he can. Crims coming up absolutely massive here for Fnatic. Not quite able to get all 4, but he's done enough work, and Fnatic, they might just hold strong here again. Looking a little bit dangerous now for Australis, as Fnatic are having a few individuals start to step up. They cannot be resting on their laurels. Up 8 and 2. It looks great right now, but it could very quickly turn in the favor of Fnatic.
Device just threw 2 smokes. Guess there was one drop before him. Or Zipex even, but Magisk now going to re-smoke there. There's a grenade through 2. They are actually chipping away at the health of Fnatic here. This one's pretty doable for Australis now.
Yeah, doable for both teams. Magisk gets the perfect timing but can't land the shots. Flusher flying through the smoke with the UMP does get the kill, and now it's all on to Zipex in a 1 versus 3. Let's see if he can do it again. Not quite. Lekro will take the kill. Fnatic, they string 2 together, and this one looking a little bit more stable. This time off the back of a big play out from Crims. The money starting to work for Fnatic, but it's still not quite there.
Not just yet. That was a great call from Astralis. They find the gap in the Fnatic defense, but what they don't find is the gap in Crims. He locks them down solid as ever, getting 3 as they cross onto the bomb site. And that's where it all falls apart for Astralis. Still though, nothing's really fallen apart too hard just yet. Their economy is in a bit of a mess. Going back just onto the pistols to be able to buy again next round, but they're still up by 5. This will go to 4 rounds here for Fnatic, but Australis, maybe they put the pressure on, it goes all the way to 11. It's not a bad half for them yet, by any stretch of the imagination. Just got to see what they can do with the pistols, and Dupree started off the right way, but JW...
Yeah, but has he let a little bit too much go here? JW needs to get quite a few frags. He does get a couple, which brings it back to a 3 versus 3, but already Australis found a little bit of an inroad here into round number 12. The next frag, if it goes the way of Australis, will keep things interesting. However, Fnatic can shut this one down. That's, well, exactly what they want, and that's the bomb flush up. He knows it. Round should be over. Dupree, though, might have some other ideas. With the Deagle, he's already hit a couple of nice shots. Now has himself an AK, and he's spotted JW there, or at least has an inkling that JW is in the underpass.
This might be a doable one now for Dupree, but he's been spotted out. The flashbang gets both players. This could be the 1v1 for him.
Well, that is indeed the 1v1, and can he get this shot across onto Lekro? Oh, he was so close. Lekro shuts it out for Fnatic, but even despite that being a round 1 for Fnatic, which they desperately need, it's not the economic game that they need to be playing. They can't be affording to drop 4 guns in a round like that.
And the drops will have to come out. That's going to limit all of Fnatic's economy. It was just Flusher and Golden who were low on the money, but everyone else has to rebuy to help them out. So Fnatic end up fully investing into this. Great economic damage by Dupree there in the 1v3 and almost landing the winner as well. But Australis now still up by 4 rounds, back onto the full buy, a little bit limited in the utility. But they have limited Fnatic's economy such that if they can win this round, Fnatic are saving.
That's really been the storyline for Fnatic so far throughout this CT side. They just have not gotten on top of the money at all. They still have not had a good proper gun round, and again, they're on rifles and they have some utility to back it up, but it's not everything that you would want, and it really comes back down to the individual plays of Fnatic dragging them through these rounds. 4 is not enough on the CT side of Overpass. For JW, he might have snuck away with a frag there that is going to give Australis some pause for thought. There's a trade back though from Glaive, and it's Crims going down. A big loss for Fnatic.
He has indeed been a very high impact fragger for them, so we'll see what they can do without him. JW looking to stand in his stead, pushes into Magisk and drops the bomb.
Well, this is the kind of plays you need to be making if you are Fnatic, and JW gets a big amount of damage over onto Zipex. Now it's very doable for the remaining Fnatic players. He's really stood up tall in this round for the CT side, but Glaive on the wrap through long. Is Fnatic going to be prepared and ready for this? They've already counter-pushed towards bathrooms. They aren't having a look at long just yet, so Glaive, if he can get onto this side, if he can find an angle onto one of these CTs, maybe there's some luck in it for him.
He made noise.
In fact, Flusher is well aware, and he knows the second player will be coming from long as well. Another good round out for Fnatic with 3 guns through. Once more off the back of an individual play, but this is going to allow them to get what would probably be their best buy of the half so far.
Pretty much. Still no AWP out for them though, which is perhaps something they would have liked to have, but they do have the full rifles. They've forced Australis back onto the pistols once again. The last pistol round that Australis had though did get a bit expensive, so we'll see if this one can be managed better for Fnatic. They've certainly got the guns and utility in hand to do so, all with kits as well, so post plants shouldn't be an issue for them, but I don't even want to let Australis plant the bomb here if at all possible. Dupree sits on the Molotov to hit the boost. That would have been a massively unexpected angle, but gives up a lot of HP for a kill that wasn't there.
To be fair, in a round like this, if you're Australis, you need to be going for those kinds of risks because you're not going to win the straight-up duels most of the time, I should say. It can happen, but I like the intent from Dupree there. Try and make something happen on the pistol round. Do something a little bit crazy. Yeah. See if Fnatic falls into your trap. This time it hasn't worked out, but maybe next time it will for Fnatic. This round is definitely looking a lot better than the last anti-eco that they did face down. JW really having a good time just holding on to this A bomb site with that M4. He doesn't even need to have an AWP in his hands. He's at 19-11, Tim. He's doing a great job for his team, and he's really pulling them through a lot of these rounds.
He's just denying Astralis any control of bathrooms there, playing around the edge of the connector door, or the bathroom door, I should say. He's just got them so many crucial frags in and around that A bomb site, having a very good start, and Astralis up 8-2, now it's 8-6. They'd love to get the 9th here, extend their lead over Fnatic, or else they'll pretty much give up the entire thing. And it has been some great plays from Fnatic that have brought them back into it. Some big individual efforts, certainly, but nonetheless, they've got the job done. Now they're at potential of essentially tying this half up with Astralis.
Yeah, well, as close as it's going to get, really. It's been a good fight back, though, from Fnatic. Really, I was counting them out. I thought they were going to be down 7-0, and really, I was saying, you know, Fnatic, maybe they're done and dusted already in this matchup, but they have certainly proven me wrong, and that goes to show why you shouldn't call things before they're over. 8-6 is where we're at for Fnatic, and would not have expected them to be at this point about 10-15 minutes ago. 7 is the aim for them, though, and they need to accomplish that goal because every single round is critical here. But the boost out from Lekro, only able to get one. Magis very quickly on the ball there.
It's a difficult thing to spot out and get rid of as well, so well traded by Magis. That could have easily been much more damage. But Australis mitigate it fairly well. Now, the flashes and the Molotovs into the B bomb site, going for the fast play. Golden is the only one here and is forced to play retake as well. Flusher will rotate over and join in, but Australis have bought themselves enough time to be able to put this bomb down. And while there eventually will be a flank in from Crims, it's not going quickly so far.
Quite a lot of utility here for Fnatic on the retake, should they opt to utilize it. Golden, he spotted the head out of Glaive, but Glaive responds back in kind and gets the first shot off. So that is a major deficit now for Fnatic trying to get into this bomb site. They have so many Ts to find, and their one advantage is that they have the utility to work with. They can smoke off short here, they can use incendiaries to clear out the angles, but the fact is they have to be hitting these shots, and right now, that is exactly what Australis is doing. Fnatic is being kept at bay, and while Flusher can get one, that's going to be all it is. 9-6 at the end of the first half. Australis closing that one out with a round of their own. But it was a good fight back from Fnatic, and we'll see if they can continue the fight back here in the second half after the break. It was an incredible start to the series for Australis, but an even more impressive comeback for Fnatic there on the first half of map 1. 9-6 is where we are at the end of it, and had you told me that was the scoreline we would see after the domination that Australis showed us, I would have called you crazy, but here we are. Fnatic have managed to claw their way back into this matchup, and now it's up to them to manage to come back into this second half as well. They need the pistol round, equalize it at 9 apiece, and then from there on out, it's anybody's game.
From 8-2, now we sit at 9-6. As you say, the comeback good from Fnatic thus far, but the pistol round on their T side all important. 2 sets of utility at JW onto that P250 and Molotov. Bit of a firepower upgrade for him. And for Australis, they've sent a stack onto B with Magisk alone under pressure at A. He'll be running away after taking initial contact.
Yeah, but able to get out. That's really good news for Australis. It will delay Fnatic just a little bit, though. They decided they might rotate their positions back over towards the B bomb site. Let's see where this Molotov is going to be headed. The flashbang is good in from Fnatic, but Device just going one better. Glaive, Zipex, all getting involved here for Australis, and that was an absurd pistol round. Australis just completely washing away with Fnatic.
That's pretty much what they wanted Fnatic to do. Magisk there showing presence at bathrooms is to make Fnatic think that, oh guys, be careful, maybe there's pressure on A, maybe there's someone pushed up long as well. And when he's holding bathrooms like that, the path of least resistance for Fnatic once they've taken Fountain is straight down connector, where they get funneled straight into the stack. So Australis play it beautifully. Fnatic can understand why they made the decisions they did, but it's not going to work out for them at all. And now they've got to go for a pistol buy. Pistol round 1 didn't work. Maybe now we try pistol round 2.
Yeah, well, pistol rounds have been very good for Australis. 2 from 2 so far in this matchup. Fnatic would have desperately loved one of those. It could have made this match a bit of a closer one, but now it's really Australis that are looking on top once again. 10 and 6, chance to build up the economy on the CT side before things get rolling too far. And if we get to 12 and 6, it will once again be another comeback that Fnatic will have to stage to get into Overpass, and hopefully for Fnatic at least, be able to put themselves in an advantageous position heading into map 2. Right now though, Tim, I would say my money's on Australis.
That's where mine's been if I was to put it down since the start of the series, but we'll see how this one goes for them. Dupree holding on to short control, drops a smoke and will be playing close. Flusher goes for a bit of a wall bang, but only forces him back for a second. For Australis though, multiple players on this B bomb site waiting around, with Glaive playing the rotate role up inside heaven. Flusher might try and find his way in here. In fact, looks like it's just going to be the contact play. They've only got the one smoke and it's out.
Dupree close though with the SMG, only able to get one there, was looking for more, and it would have been fantastic for him to spray that many down, but now it's Xipex's turn, still got the money making in his hands with the UMP. Crimson Flusher though, particularly Flusher, a very nice shot hit there onto Xipex. And Fnatic are allowed to get the bomb down. Astralis already losing quite a few players here. Golden has not been able to navigate himself away from the bomb site, so he should be easy pickings for the CTs. And now Device has to cover off with the scout. Magisk is going to be the one that looks like he will get the defusers. He's got the kit. And actually Device decides to pick up the SMG, which is a much smarter choice in this scenario. A lot harder to hit the shot with the scout. Device walks right into the crosshair of Crims, ducking under the shot though. And the defuse comes across for Australis, 11 to 6. Quite an expensive round. A lot of guns lost, but a win for Australis, and that's what they need.
Not going to bother them too much there. They do lose some SMGs. They know that by winning that, they've knocked Fnatic back onto just another pistol buy. With the bomb plant going down though for Fnatic, they do get an extra $800 per player, which covers precisely a deagle per person, which is why most of those players now have them. Flusher not going for as much of an investment, but he goes for a HE grenade as well. So some damage potential here for Fnatic. Astralis playing for the fountain control early on, and they have driven back Crims and Golden. There's actually 4 players there, and Device will be locking down Connector as well. So Fnatic, they want to split up into the toilets here, but there are many members of Australis waiting for them.
Yeah, just JW walking right into the crosshair of Device. A very easy frag for him. Rest of Fnatic trying to find anything out of this round, but look at the positioning of Astralis already. Device has pushed forward. They've got control of bathrooms. They've got control of dirty water. There's a player looking down monster for Astralis. There's just so much information right now for the CT side. And Fnatic, everywhere they go, they're going to have a player ready and waiting to find them. Bomb spin spotted now as well. And despite that being a trade of frags, Device losing the SMG there is of little concern for Australis.
They're not going to be bothered by that. It is Lecro with the return Deagle frag. His Deagle is particularly good, but I don't think it'll be able to get too much more done as Flusher flirts with death through the bottom of the connector door, now taking a hefty chunk of damage. Even so, the bomb still down, only just being retrieved by Lecro right now. There's 35 seconds left on the clock. It's a difficult round for Fnatic to get back into, and for Australis, they can come out of this one with 4 guns still alive, or even 3. They'll be doing just fine on the economic front. They do have 4 M4s though, so I'd like to keep all of them. They should be in a good position to do just that.
Well, Flusher goes down as well. Just Lecro left alive now. So that is not going to be lasting for too long. Dupree able to do the honors there for Australis. Now the buy though will come through for Fnatic, and this is where we need to see what they've got for us on the T side of Overpass. If it's nothing, Astralis run away with the rest of this map and have a excellent time on Overpass, closing it out with a really, really easy scoreline. But there's always that chance that Fnatic make their way back in.
Can't be writing them out just yet. Hope to see what they've got for us here with the AKs and the utility though. And on the side of Astralis, Device has the big AWP out. They've denied the fountain presence early. Golden goes through it and sacrifices a big chunk of HP for not much info. Hasn't found a kill, hasn't been able to force anyone back. The Australis presence is on long at the moment, boosting over the wall at the end. So while Fnatic will now move through and take Playground, they've also got players down Conan in short water. Glaive will get the grenade through for the damage.
Oh wow, that's a massive grenade as well. Golden must not have had head armor there.
50 HP.
50 HP.
From the Molotov.
Oh, well, even still.
At the start of the round, I think he had like 47 left or something, but that's still a great
That's a massive grenade. Even still, Xipex will be traded out there, but Dupree almost able to transfer the spray there onto Crims. Not quite though, but still 1-for-1 trades are good enough there for Australis. 3 versus 2.
They've got so many Molotovs.
And that incendiary goes down. Won't quite deny the bomb plant. Lekro finds himself on his own though, as Crims, his only teammate, has already been dispatched of. 1 versus 2, and not aware that Magisk was so close. Will be going down. 13 up now for Australis. Fnatic. Again, the money is shocking here. They'll have to save and hope for a comeback at 14-6.
We're just running over all of the dead bodies to pick up any utility that he might be able to find. If we'll go do the same, might as well scrounge anything you can out of these rounds. Why not at this point? They've managed to get an AK upgraded, so that's good for into an AK.
Well, Fnatic
So
actually getting a bit more money than I had anticipated, Tim.
Yeah,
it
they're
is
on
a loser's bonus, so
4-round loss bonus now, so they're getting
and they got the bomb down.
$2,900 per round plus bomb down, $800 a player, so quite a bit.
My mistake.
Look, it's all right, mate. It's okay. I'll forgive you just this one time. But Fnatic, while they do have a bit of a buy, and they should have their other players joining them. There we go. Flusher buys up late. The gun round didn't work too well for them last round, so we'll see what they can achieve with the 5 rifles this time. Still playing a default here, but this time Australis looking to pressure them in towards Fountain. The flashbangs will drive them back. And just maybe Golden can find a frag. He's already spotted out the one pushing player on Dupree, though.
Yeah, the grenades come out, though, from Dupree. Doesn't actually manage to do as much damage as I thought that it might. And Australis, they decide that they're not too keen on keeping up with these shenanigans. And they fall back into their bomb sites. But it's bought a little bit of time. Keeps Fnatic wary that there could be something a little bit suspicious going on here for Australis. And that is exactly what is happening right now. Device watching a fairly forward angle. Fnatic need to be very wary if they walk into his sightline. But JW might just be able to shut this one down.
It would be so very classic JW to just peek in and watch this angle. Now that the shot's given away, he might just go for it. No! He waits for Device to fall back and hits a dink through the wall. In the meantime, Lekro gets involved but gets traded out.
Just the sole lurk on the B bomb site here for Fnatic. Australis are not really too concerned about that. We've seen no rotation. Dupree already out on short on the B bomb site, gathering that info right now for Australis. We've still got Zipex watching the monster tunnel as well. They're going to know that there's nothing going on by that B bomb site. Really, the full offensive will come over here to A. There's 2 players to hold it off, Device and Glaive.
Pressure's about to be coming, but Device is managing it well, spotting around, waiting for the push, waiting for info, and now it's got to come. 20 seconds left. Fnatic have to make their move.
Glaive in a perfect position there with the AWP, but can't land the shot. Device does manage to hit it, though, onto JW, and Glaive, he got the 1-for-1 over on Lon. Dupree with the flank and the tap, shutting down Fnatic, getting them out of that round, and this time, Fnatic now facing 14-6. Their money is worse than the last. They could force into it, or they could play for overtime.
It's a pretty difficult decision to make either way for Fnatic. The money's not going to be great no matter what they do. The buy will not be good no matter what they do. Crims looks a little bit stressed.
As you would be right now.
Down 14-6.
They struggled so hard in the first half, but inevitably made the comeback. And now, Astralis is just coming out and smoking them in the second half.
Looking very, very good indeed, which is what we'd expect from a lineup like Australis, from a group of players like Australis, really. So for Fnatic, they're going to go for the CZ buy. They've got to give it their best here. They've got the utility as well, so give it a red hot crack. Do what you can. But Australis looking very confident on their own map pick now, up 14-6. Just 2 more needed. And one of them, at least, is going to be an anti-eco or anti-force.
Yeah, so Fnatic, they've decided that they want to play for the overtime, although admittedly they can still win this round. At least they're going to have a good buy into the next. That's a great shot hit by Device. He's going to be able to get out of there alive as well. Has the backup of a teammate. The utility's going down as well. And now Lekro just charging in through the Molotov. Had Magis not got that frag, maybe even the fire would have got it anyway. JW pushing on forward as well. And Fnatic, they don't seem to want to stop, but neither do Australis. We're on the CT side hype train right now, Tim. 15 up on the board, and Fnatic, they are just being completely swamped out of this match.
That's 2 rounds now where the push onto A has been shut down, or at least closed out by a flank coming through. That one, I believe, came through connector instead of through A long, but doesn't matter either way. Magisk will close it out, and look how even the frags are on Australis. Everyone between, what, 14 and 22? I didn't see where Fnatic are at, but as always with Australis, it's a team effort. Yes, it's a lot more spread out for them. Golden down on 7 frags, 21 coming up for the top fragger. And now 6 kills or 6 rounds even for Fnatic. They need 9 more to get this to overtime. It's very difficult. Australis, of course, have looked strong, But this is their map pick. While they're taking it cleanly, or at least they look like they're about to take it cleanly, we're not done yet.
Not yet. But the death bell is ringing right now for Fnatic. Australis, very, very good here on Overpass. Looking excellent to close it out here at 16-6. And what a dominant display it would be, and has been, if Australis do end up closing this one out. In fact, it seems almost impossible that they were going to get such a clean victory here over Fnatic.
There's been a fake out onto the A bomb site though, and the rotator of Glaive has bought it. Now Zipex pushes it, has the info, but Golden will win that fight. The rotation now has to come back. JW is just trying to sell this.
Yeah, I think he was sitting in a Molotov, and in the end will go down. Hasn't sold it well enough. Astralis already on the rotation, but Dupree can't buy any time on the B bomb side, and that will allow the opening here for Fnatic. They'll get the bomb down. Astralis can go for the retake here. They certainly have the money, and Glaive so quickly onto the site. Golden not ready for it. That's another player down. 3 versus 3. Some more needed, though, from Astralis, and Fnatic are not allowing that to happen at all. Flusher gets the kill that he needs. Back to a 3 versus 2, and now Australis, they have to slow down. They have to use their utility, but they've just let too much go. Fnatic, another one on the board now for them, but they still have so much more to do.
Going back to that rotate, by the way, that fake that JW sold, he did do enough, because while he didn't manage to get all the players rotating onto the A side itself, he at least got them out of B and forced them to retake in through Heaven again. So while he didn't completely get them off, he does enough, because it's so much harder to hold the B site from Heaven than it is to hold it from maybe Graffiti or actually in the bomb site itself, especially for retakes, because you've got to either jump out of Heaven, which is super exposed, or try and make your way through lower, which is one angle they can watch.
Aggression out here from Australis, and this is excellent to see. Fnatic, they may not just be ready for it, and in the end they are not. Device, he spots out JW, and that means that JW is not long for this world. 5v4 now, the player advantage is in the hands of Astralis, not Fnatic, and we've seen this movie before, Tim. I know how it ends. Lekro, though, able to peg one back, so perhaps he wants to rewrite history.
Very possibly, but Device is ready here at long for this presence from Golden. Bit of a dangerous position for Device to be in now inside the bathrooms. Might actually get caught out here, but instead he might have just found the perfect timing. No,
Ooh.
Golden throws a smoke over and runs away.
That would have been something to behold, wouldn't it? But now they do survive with their 4 players alive. Still information being searched for here by Device. He might walk right into the crosshair of Crims, and that is exactly what happens. Fnatic now with the 2-player advantage, as Flushes also found himself a frag on the A bomb site. Glaive needs to try and push for some information here, try and make a play, but in the end he really again just walks into the waiting arms of Crims. Zipex close by though, will they be ready for it? Crims was not, but Lekro was. That's enough for Fnatic to get through this round. 15-8. Slow and steady wins the race here for Fnatic, but it's a long road ahead of them.
They have identified, though, that Device likes to be AWPing them aggressively at the moment from Fountain. He's got that first frag and was playing around in bathrooms. So after Golden makes the presence at long, it forces Device to go back, looking where Crims is waiting. That's the opening frag. They needed to bring it back. And then, of course, a nice entry is hit onto that A bomb site as well. But Australis, they are on the pistols here. They're still going to be up by a whole bunch of rounds if they lose this one. There's still 6 to play with. And it's not a done deal yet. They will lose this one, but that's going to hurt. That's going to help even. It's a 1-for-1 though, as Majest gets a Deagle trade.
Yeah, 1-for-1, not really what Astralis was looking for there. They need the player advantage here to come away with the round. Fnatic just being slow and methodical, making sure they're not going to drop this one to Astralis. That would be devastating indeed. But for Fnatic, this is what they need to be doing against Astralis, is making that economy low enough that they can get some freer rounds on these anti-ecos. They'll still need quite a few of them, mind you, but never say never here in a game like Counter-Strike. Every round is its own entity. And despite being down so far right now for Fnatic, it is still very possible for them to come back into this map.
Astralis with a double stack inside the bathrooms. Fnatic are not going to be checking it. They're just going to go up towards that A bomb site. So that's either going to leave Squirrel's players in a terrible position or a great one, depending on what they're able to do with it. But already Lekro is pushing in to maybe clean that one up. And here comes the push straight to the A bomb site as Device falls.
Yeah, really nice kill there from Golden. Another one followed up as Zipex just gets one-tapped. Magisk here, he might be able to make a bit of a play for Australis if he can get the timing right. Although it seems that has eluded him. Lecro might come back up, but yeah, Magiscus is not going to get out of here alive. I don't think so, but of course I'm wrong. Lecro not quite ready for him there, and that means there's an AK thrown over to Australis. They'll be happy with that. Obviously not expecting much out of this round, but an AK helps their buy next, and an AK on the CT side is always welcome.
Dupree might find something else here as well. Did spot out Flusher, but cops a big headshot through the box. And now at this point, Dupree, with the health that he's on, the position he's in, he has to try and commit for a kill, or else he's going to die to the bomb. So can't find it. He's been denied. He will be losing this vehicle as well. Flush takes a lot of damage for it, but doesn't enough to deny that extra gun from Australis. The AK, though, is saved, as you mentioned. Dupree with that one currently in hand. Zipex going to be able to drop an AWP out for Device based off of that now, because he can be dropped a gun. And everyone will now have a gun on Australis, plus that AWP, which will certainly help. So we'll see what Device can do in this round, but it's a full buy for them, a full buy for Fnatic again. The gun round's now starting to swing back in their favor, but again, Australis only need the one. And it looks like they've got Magisk and Device holding onto the bathrooms. Bit of presence from them, maybe aggressive at Fountain, but no, Magisk's already off of it.
Well, if they were to do that again here on the CT side, it would start to become a little bit predictable for Fnatic. Australis have liked to go aggressive into party, but this time it's going to be aggression out from the monster tunnel. The flashbang is good, and Dupree, the spray is even better. Flusher goes down. Lecro looking for the trade, and he'll be able to get that. Very aware. Good work from him, and does a huge amount of damage over to Glaive as well. Not that he's aware of it, but that's excellent work from Lecro. Does keep Fnatic in this round.
Crims has just heard the boost as well, the jump spot, so he knows now that that's a thing. Magisk will get a Molotov to try and deny the toilet presence, and actually does a lot of damage. There's Device with the cleanup too. One more player here. And the bomb still down back in T-spawn, so at this point Fnatic needs to be falling out. Go back, get the bomb, think about what damage you have, what info you've gathered so far. They know there's a player watching bathrooms, they know there's a player that pushed through B, and they got that trade, but there's Zipex getting Lecro 2v4.
Yeah, Zipex has just been holding that line so often on the CT side, not only getting all the information down the monster tunnel, but keeping Fnatic at bay as they try to make their way through there. And this might be the beginning of the end for Fnatic on Overpass. The 16-9 seems sure to come up on the scoreboard. Zipex has been spotted out here, and JW hits the shot, but Glaive waiting for the trades, and the bomb dropped with 25 seconds on the clock. Crims surely has no chance here in the end. It is going to be 16-9 for Australis, closing out map 1. And it really was just a matter of time, wasn't it? Fnatic, they tried their best, they struggled hard, and they fought hard, but Australis was just far too good.
Were indeed. That's a great result from Australis, really. It's exactly what they would have been looking for on their own map pick. A nice, dominant result for them. And while Fnatic did get back into it a little bit, starting to pick up on where the pushes were coming in, what Australis were doing, they were just far too prepared on that map in general, which is what we expect for them, really. They're a very prepared team. And Australis, they're all up, shaking hands and out of here. Crim's head in hands.
Yeah, look, it's not the end of the world, really, for Fnatic. There's still more maps to play in this series. The loser of this series is not out at all by any means in IEM Sydney. They'll still be playing in the quarterfinals, and that's coming up tomorrow in the arena. But the winner, of course, gets that berth, that bye through to the semi-finals, which is going to be quite nice. And that's probably what we would expect to see from Australis right now coming into this tournament. The talk was that they have been the strongest team, forms-wise, coming in, and DreamHack Marseille was a big proponent of that, but this is really now where we start to see whether or not the Australis era is going to start to become a thing, because they can start to work their way into more and more wins, more and more tournament victories. I mean, they're coming up into Dallas as well fairly shortly, so there's a lot of tournaments available here for Australis. If they end up winning IEM Sydney, you know, that's 2 on the trot and then potentially 3, and all of a sudden we're going to be talking about Australis as the team of 2018.
And it gives them a nice little look in towards that Intel Grand Slam as well. I mean, as I think Chad said on the desk on day number 1, there's a great chance here for Australis to just take potentially 4 straight and get the whole Grand Slam in one go. Yep. So they're in great form at the moment. The other established top teams aren't looking so good with SK and FaZe, as we've seen. So there is certainly a chance for one team, maybe Australis, maybe someone else, but to go on a really big run at the moment with the form that everyone's in.
Yeah, definitely. So for now, I mean, Australis, they've started off really nicely. Fnatic, they're going to be moving on to their own map pick at least, which is going to give them a little bit of a benefit. Overpass, we always expected, was going to be a tough one there for Fnatic. So there's still a chance that Fnatic comes back into this series, but you said the 2-0, Tim, and you must be feeling pretty comfortable with that prediction right now.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stand by it. Looking pretty comfortable now. Australis, of course. We've got to go on to Fnatic's map pick next, but they were all looking pretty good individually. There was a few moments that could have gone better for them, but on the whole, I think they're looking pretty good. And Fnatic, they only started to get an answer to that quite late in both halves.
Yeah, and speaking of that second map, that's going to be coming up shortly. First, though, we are going to head to a break. Don't go anywhere, though. We'll see whether or not Fnatic can keep themselves alive in this series as we head towards map 2.